The Lansing Shoal Lightship is an overlooked place in daytime, and especially at night. But it's one of my favorite dive sites. Time after time, this little wreck continues to impress me with its vast array of wildlife. The following was recorded in just a single dive. First up, we had a curious white perch approach. This is a pretty unusual fish to see diving, but I was happy to take it, and even happier that he decided to come take a look. Despite the name, the white perch is actually not a perch. Speaking of which, here's the real deal. There were a couple yellow perch, quite decent size, hanging out on the bottom. Perch are generally shy and very fast moving and don't allow close approaches. However, these large perch are lying in wait for a well-deserved prize, rainbow smelt. Even though their numbers have been greatly depleted by fishing, smelt still persist. They generally hug the bottom as low as they can to avoid nets, but will cautiously approach dive lights, and once they're comfortable with you, very hard to get rid of, which makes photographing them a little tricky as they'll come in too close for your camera. Smelt like to mix in with very large groups of emerald shiners, typically one smelt for every 150 or so shiners. It's always a good idea to watch these guys, no matter how many times you see them, because predators are always attacking them. And tonight, I was rewarded with the sighting of this brown trout. I heard that the DNR had stocked them in Algonac a few weeks earlier, and it seems that they're doing just fine in the big river now. Generally, the sighting of a trout is the highlight of any diving trip in a river, but nothing could prepare me for what was next. What we are looking at here is a spiny, soft-shelled turtle. And yes, as the name implies, the shell is soft, almost leather-like to the touch. While seeing sea turtles in the ocean is a very common sight, seeing a turtle in the St. Clair River of any kind is extremely rare. In fact, this is the first time in 13 years I've encountered a turtle of any kind. This turtle was roughly 2.5 feet long, which almost certainly makes it a female. Adult turtles generally stay in the same territory throughout their entire lifetime. I've dove this site for about 6 months now, nearly 50 dives worth, and this is the first time ever encountering this turtle. And some familiar faces returned. Smallmouth bass, who have been absent throughout the winter, have returned for the summer months, as well as their friends walleye. While I haven't seen any adult walleye yet, this little 3-inch walleye came by to have a look. Hopefully the bigger ones will be behind it shortly. And another personal favorite of mine, the river red horse, cautiously approached for a brief look. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of these guys as well in the summer. Another surprise encounter was this white sucker. We generally see suckers in fast, deep-moving water, particularly under the Blue Water Bridge, so it's nice to see this juvenile in just 3 feet of water. Unfortunately, though, he wasn't very cooperative with my camera. The same can be said with this trout perch. I see these guys in March and April exclusively, so any opportunity to photograph them, I'd take it. Thankfully, this mud puppy just decided to stand still, which makes taking pictures pretty easy. Most divers generally look down on freshwater diving and freshwater fish, but they do so at their own loss. Going at night and patiently looking can reward you with fantastic encounters with species that very few people ever get to see. I hope you enjoyed this rarely seen look at the St. Clair River bottomlands. If you did, leave a like and a comment. Stay safe, dive often.